ahead of that woman like she don't belong to you. Just cause her got them little skinny legs, you know that ain't no way to do. You didn't act like that when you had it home behind closed doors. All right. Now you act like you're ashamed of the woman. Don't even want nobody to know she's yours. But that's all right. You just walk on, baby. And don't you worry about a doggone thing at all. Because there's some man somewhere who'll take you, baby. Skinny legs and all. That's right. Keep on walking, baby. Show you what I'm talking about. Listen to this. Now, who'll take the woman with the skinny legs? Stand right there, baby. I'm gonna give you away in a minute. Come on, somebody please take the lady with the skinny legs. Now y'all know the lady with skinny legs got to have somebody too now. Will somebody please take the lady with the skinny legs, please? Hey, Joe. Yeah, Bobby. Why don't you take it? Shut up, fool. I don't want no one with no skinny legs. Look here. I thought about giving this woman a Clyde, but no. So I know the kind of women Clyde like. Little Leroy will take her. Say, Leroy, you got it. Say, Miss Lady, now why you want to act like that man ain't yours? Just cause he's walking with you with them raggedy clothes. Man just forgot to get his suit out the cleaners, that's all. All right. All right. You act like that man don't belong to you. Go on over there and kiss him and hold his hand. Say you ain't gonna do what? That's all right. You just walk on, mister. And don't you worry about a doggone thing at all. Because there's some woman somewhere who'll take you, Mr. Raggedy Clothes and all. Yes, there is. Let's keep on walking. Be ashamed of what you got. world, baby, to living by yourself. Yes, this is a mean old world, baby, to living by yourself. When you can't get the one you love, then you know she's loving someone else. Yes, I drink to keep from worrying, Mama, I smile to keep from crying. Yes, I drink to keep from worrying, Mama, I smile to keep from crying. That's to keep the public from knowing just what I have on my mind. Someday, baby, I'll be 6 feet in the grave. Someday, baby, I'll be 6 feet in the grave. Then I won't be riding in mistreated, darling, like a low-down dirty slave.
Sex in the forbidden zone, when men in power betray women's trust. I'm Dr. Peter Rutter, and that's the title of my book.
I'm Jean Paisley Green. My program with Dr. Rutter will air on this station on Thursday, June 11th at noon. Join us in breaking the silence and renewing our hope.
Picket signs, don't punish me with brutality.
Marvin says we've got to bring some understanding here today, so KPFA and the Express are bringing from Chicago that wise and soulful old man, Studs Terkel, author of Working and Hard Times. Studs will talk about race, how blacks and whites think and feel about the American obsession. Cheryl Flowers of the Bay Area Black Journalists Association will lead a discussion Wednesday, May 27th at 7:30 p.m. at Martin Luther King Junior High School in North Berkeley. Free parking, tickets $10 at Black Oak, Cody's Books, and City Box Office. For more information, call area code 510-848-6767, extension 609.
Everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply cause our hair is long. Johnny Otis, Johnny Otis, Johnny Otis, Johnny Otis.
And you're listening to the Johnny Otis Show. We're coming to you from KPFA, KPFB Berkeley, covering Northern California, KFCF Fresno for Central California, and KPFK Los Angeles for Southern California.
That's what I call an ID.
I know it. That's not what the Columbia Broadcasting School calls an ID, though. Just shucking and jiving, you understand? It's something we have to do according to the FCC from time to time, don't we? We have to tell you that we're here. By the way, we're live in the studio here in Berkeley. And with me are the man at the controls, who is here 3/4 of the time.
And Nikki's not alive.
Nikki's not even here. He's in slumberland. He's deep in the arms of Morpheus. Don't stick that fly in Nikki's mouth. Oh, he's really asleep.
Somebody had him a napkin, though.
He didn't hear that. Well. Ow! We heard, what's the last thing we heard? Mean Old World by T-Bone Walker. Here are the Drifters, and we are going to determine whether this is, what was Rudy's last name?
Lewis?
Rudy Lewis with the Drifters or Benny King. Which of the two gentlemen is singing here on Save the Last Dance for Me? We're going to play a set with both songs will be by the Drifters. Clyde McPhatter and the Drifters with What You're Gonna Do, that's an early one. We'll wind up with that, but the first one, Save the Last Dance for Me. Let's see if it's Benny King or Rudy Lewis.
You can dance every dance with the guy who gives you the eye, let him hold you tight. You can smile every smile for the man who held your hand neath the pale moonlight. But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Oh, I know that the music's fine like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun. Laugh and sing, but while we're apart, don't give your heart to anyone. But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Baby, don't you know I love you so? Can't you feel it when we touch? I will never, never let you go. I love you oh so much. You can dance, go and carry on till the night is gone and it's time to go. If he asks, if you're all alone, can he take you home? You must tell him no. 'Cause don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Cause don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Save the last dance for me. Save the last dance for me.
Now what you gonna do about a 8:30? What you gonna do about a 8:30? It would knock me out. That's the great out of days. You know you're so pretty.
You're so
Lordy, look at there.
Look at that, look at
Yes, you're so pretty.
that. You're so pretty.
Lordy, look at there.
Look at that, look at that.
Just strutting down the street.
Just run down the
Long black wavy hair.
black wavy hair.
Now what you gonna say if I hold your hand? What you gonna say if I hold your hand? Will you look me in my eyes and say I'm your lover man? Hey, 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 we gonna reel, gonna roll, gonna dance, drink, have a ball. What you gonna do
What you gonna do
about 9 o'clock?
about 9 o'clock?
Have you heard the news?
Have you heard
Yes, we're gonna rock.
Yes, we gonna
Oh, we're gonna rock.
Yes, we gonna
Yes, we're gonna rock.
Yes, we gonna
We're gonna rock.
Yes, we gonna
Yes, we're gonna rock.
Yes, we gonna
We're gonna rock.
Yes, we gonna
And never stop.
And never
Yeah.
No, I'm not ready, but it doesn't matter. When you got to go, you got to go. It's time to talk again. What should I say? What? Hello?
I thought you wanted to kill the tape.
No, I don't want to kill the tape. I want to kill you. Let me see. I have a double frog in my throat. Cough button. Ah, that's better. Do I sound dulcet? No, still. I ate too much crackling cornbread when I was a kid. It scratched my vocal throats. Vocal cords. Vocal throats. I have two throats. What You Gonna Do, Clyde McFadden and the Drifters. Yes, indeed, that was Benny King singing the lead on Save the Last Dance for Me. A little Chuck Willis now with C.C. Ryder, and I'll give you a mystery tune for the second one.
Just see Ryder, go see what you has done. Yes, yes, yes. See Ryder, see what you has done. Girl, you made me love you. Now your man has come. Well, I'm going away, baby, and it won't be black and fall. Yes, darling, going away, baby, won't be black and fall. If I find me a good girl, I won't be back at all. Well, see, Ryder, girl, the moon is shining bright. Lord, 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 see, Ryder, the moon is shining bright. If I could just walk with you, everything will be all right.
Mama, He Treats Your Daughter Mean, says Ruth Brown. Before that, it was Chuck Willis with C.C. Ryder. Now, these are all big hit records from the golden rhythm and blues era of Atlantic Records. And you'll notice there are almost no blues, pure blues, which is a shame. But Atlantic was after just the money, and right?
That's right.
Of course, they did a very good job of maintaining the artistic level, too, because all this stuff is wonderful. But they did not do much blues. They didn't do that. Drinking Wine, Spody Yoda, Drinking Wine by Styx McGee, and Baby, I'm Yours with Barbara Lewis.
Down in New Orleans where everything's fine, all them cats is drinking that wine, drinking that mess, their delight. When they get drunk, start singing all night, drinking wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, pass that bottle to me. Drinking that mess, their delight. When he gets drunk, start fighting all night, knocking down the windows and tearing out doors, drinking half a gallons and calling for more, drinking wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, pass that bottle to me, hoy, 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 wine, 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 elderberry, wine, 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 or cherry, wine, 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 blackberry, wine, 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 haven't had, wine, 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 oh boy, pass that bottle to me. If you wanna get along, New Orleans town, buy some wine and pass it all around. Age runs up, 49. All those cats, they love sweet wine. Drinking wine, spooty, they drink wine. Mop, mop, wine, spooty, they drink wine. Mop, mop, wine, spooty, they drink wine. Mop, mop, pass that bottle to me. Hoy, hoy, wine, wine, wine. Elderberry, wine, wine, wine. Port cherry, wine, wine, wine. Blackberry, wine, wine, wine. Haven't had, wine, wine, wine. Oh boy, pass that bottle to me. Drink that slop. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, drink it. Snicky Pete. Down on Rampart Street at Willie's Den, he wasn't selling but a diligent. One cat wanted a bottle of wine. If that cat for $1 and a dime, a drinking wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop, pass that bottle to me. Hoy, hoy, wine, 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 elderberry, wine, 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 port cherry, wine, 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 blackberry, wine, 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 haven't had, wine, 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 oh boy, pass that bottle to me. I got a nickel, have you got a dime? Let's get together and get a little wine. Some buys a fifth, some buys a quart. But when you buy sherry, now you're doing things smart. Drinking wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop. Drinking wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop. Wine, spooty, they drink wine, mop, mop. Pass that bottle to me.
Baby, I'm yours, and I'll be yours until the stars fall from the sky. Yours until the rivers all run dry. In other words, until I die. Baby, I'm yours, and I'll be yours until the sun no longer shines. until eternity. Baby, I'm yours till the stars fall from the sky. Baby, I'm yours till the rivers all run dry. Baby, I'm yours till the poets run out of rhyme.
Oh, well, Baby, I'm Yours, pretty song by a pretty girl, Barbara Lewis, and Sticks McGee and his brother Brownie with Drinking Wine, Sporty Odie, Drinking Wine. I like to hear King Curtis pull together all the ingredients, put them in this big pot down in New Orleans, down in Memphis, Tennessee, and make some Memphis soul stew. Let's listen to it.
Today's special is Memphis Soul Stew. We sell so much of this, people wonder what we put in it. We're gonna tell you right now. Give me about a half a teacup of bass. Now I need a pound of fatback drums. Now give me 4 tablespoons of ballin' Memphis guitars. This gonna taste all right. Now just a little pinch of organ. Now give me a half a pint of horn. Place on the burner and bring to a boil. That's it right there. Now beat well.
And for the last time in this 2-hour segment, this does not apply to Southern California because we have 3 hours down there. It's time to say KPFA, KPFB, Berkeley, KFCF, Fresno, KPFK, Los Angeles. It's the Johnny Otis Show, and we're playing records that were big hits on the Atlantic label. This is an Atlantic Records special today. We've had some wonderful things. If you tuned in late, you missed the Bobettes. You missed Laverne Baker, Solomon Burke, Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, The Chords, Ikettes, Joe Turner, Benny King, Arthur Conley, Wilson Pickett, The Coasters, Clarence Carter, Joe Tex. Shame on you. But hang in there because I got some good ones coming up. I've got Ivory Joe Hunter, Frank Cully, The Clovers, Professor Longhair, Percy Sledge, and The Robins, at least. And some more stuff beside that. So there. Here is Frank Cully with Coleslaw, and then Ivory Joe Hunter.
Down in the alley.
Down in the Alley. No, Down in the Alley is not right there. It's Coleslaw next. Then Since I Met You, Baby. You mind doing it that way, sir? Can you do it that
I
way?
could give you Mardi Gras next.
I want coleslaw. Can I get coleslaw?
Is it on the record here?
How do I know? What do I know about records? I know somewhere back in my dim recesses of my Alzheimer's, I remember making some records.
Number one.
Number one. Yeah, we had a couple of those. Hello, this is KPFA, KPFB, your First Amendment listener-sponsored radio station. And typically KPFA, KPFB, and KPFK, we have disorder at the border. Mike and Chris are, let's see, number 3, is that number 4? Punch up number 5. Man, turn on the, are you ready now?
I think I better just shut you up. Here we go.
All right.
has changed. Since I met you, baby, my whole life has changed. And everybody tells me that I am not the same. I don't need nobody to tell my troubles to. I don't need nobody to tell my troubles to. 'Cause since I met you, baby, all I need is you. Since I met you, baby, I'm a happy man. Since I met you, baby, I'm a happy man. I'm gonna try to please you in every way I can.
Why do you always ask me if I'm ready?
Because I know you never are, but I just like
That's right. I don't want to be ready. If you're ready, what happens is you have planned something. When you plan something, it always goes amiss, and plus it's stilted.
Well, if you planned it, that could have been either malice aforethought or a conspiracy, one of the two.
Either that or a tragedy before it's over with.
Before it's time, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I am, a tragedy before my time. You're a travesty after your time, so we're even. Let me see, we just heard Since I Met You, Baby, the great Ivor Joe Hunter, and Coleslaw with Frank Cully. People tuning in for the first time whenever I've got you or Tom McElhaney, and I'm always giving you guys hell. I hope they understand how much love is involved here. Not much.
Just a little dabble, do you?
No, we're good friends, and we love to zing each other. It's called hooron and signifying.
Yeah.
In the black community, it's called hooron. That's what we call it, hooron and signifying. What do you call it over there with the Republicans where you live?
Bantering.
Oh, well, by all means, how excruciatingly droll of you. We shall banter some more. Bantering. Let's make a record
We could
called...
song all that. Banter all night long.
Yeah. I can't even begin to think of how to put that into a song.
I think I'd put it.
Banter. It doesn't lend itself to rhythm and blues or to jazz. Banter. Can you give me another term? What else do you do over there with the Republicans?
We jive a lot.
You jive a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You shuck and jive a lot. That's right. You jive the whole country a lot.
That's right.
We're going to see if we can stop all that jiving comes this November.
Something's going to strange happen this November, the way it's going.
I'm going to tell you something. It's a fascinating time in American politics.
It really is.
And I look at the Ross Perot phenomenon and I say, ain't this a damn shame? And then I look at the other man, Bill Clinton, and I say, But you know what? Either of them, Jesus, beats what we got. So let's clean house and let's try to get a new start here. Not that I have any great hopes, but let's improve it. What we got is just terrible. Am I allowed to do that?
Knock yourself out, man.
I mean, there's no campaign hasn't started. I'm not taking any partisan stand here, because I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I ain't nothing. Well, wait a minute. Stop smiling. What I meant by that was, I would prefer to leave my options open, because I might want to vote for an Earl Warren who was a Republican. And I may not want to vote for Bilbo, who was a Democrat. You won't remember that, the big racist from down south. And the woods were full of them in those days. And guess what? The woods are still full of them. They've just changed their approach. They've become
banterers.
They banter. Only a Republican would know that. Go to the head of the class, write on the blackboard, "I'm a good boy." I want you to write it 17 times.
Why 17?
Isn't that a Republican number?
Gee, I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. If you don't know, I don't know.
I don't think it is.
Oh. What is it, Mike?
I didn't know they had numbers.
Me neither.
They don't. They don't have numbers. Most people in America are basically Democrats. But somehow, with that fuddy-duddy, phony actor they got in there, and they got 2 terms. Then they got Mr. Zero, and he got 1 term. So who knows? God forbid that we have to have any more of this, because I'm playing and laughing, but it's a terrible tragedy, and particularly for poor people.